Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Rewind that. It's your girl, Miss K. If this is your first time coming across my channel, welcome. Please be sure to subscribe if you like the vibe and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Alright guys, today we are going to be going over the latest episode of BMF, Season 1, Episode 5, called Secrets and Lies, guys. Alright, so the episode starts off with a flashback as usual, and we just see all of the different ways that people lie, right? In Meech'S family, we're kind of just seeing all the ways that they're telling little lies around the house, okay? And then next we go to T, right? And he has this hearing about his case, and one of the lawyers pulls up these pictures of T getting out of bins and, wearing nice jewelry and clothes. And even though Karen says there's no relevance to the case, it's still a bad look, okay? Next, Meech tells Pat that he's going to go his separate ways, but Pat tells him that he's not letting Meech go until he receives his full return on investment. Unfortunately, Meech ran his mouth a little too much and tells Pat that he's been shortchanging them this whole time and been violating the first lesson he ever taught him, which is to never get high in your own supply. So Pat definitely didn't like that, and he punched Meech in the stomach, okay, practically knocked the wind out of him. So Meech tells Pat that he just wants to fly on his own, get some independence, and it doesn't have to be like this. But Pat says this ain't no friendly push out the nest, okay? You are excommunicated and you better stay in your lane or else it's going to be some problems, okay? Then he kicks Meech out. And that was pretty sad to watch because Meech loves Pat, and Pat is definitely overreacting in my opinion. Next, Meech comes up with the plan to get his stash back from Lamar, and he does this by playing on his weakness, okay? He tells T that he's not going to like the plan, and he don't think he likes it either, So T was like, look, I'm not even trying to hear this. Then he left. Next, we see Meech's plan in action when we see him picking up Zoe from school. And it's basically a kidnapping, even though we know Meech ain't trying to hurt Zoe, right? And I just didn't want him to go this route because it opens the door for family and kids, to be touchable, and kind of making them casualties of war, Don't want to open that door. Next, Lamar, who was supposed to pick Zoe up, is outside waiting for her, and she doesn't come out, of course. So I forgot this guy. I knew his name at one point, Little Zane's character. I knew his name at one point, and now I done totally forgot. I think it starts with a B. But anyway, he shows up and he tells Lamar that they got Zoe. So deliver the stash if you want to see your daughter again. Next, Lucille tells T to look her in the eye and tell her he's not dealing drugs with his brother. And of course, T lies and says he's not, right? Plus, Denise tells the family that they have 3 days to decide if they're going to take the settlement of $25K or take it to court and let a jury decide. All right. And if the jury decides and then they show all those pictures and everything, it's just going to make things look way worse. Okay. And as Meech even told Terry, look, you don't want this case to make stuff hot for us. You know what I mean? Anyway, so it's super annoying how naive Lucille is being about Terry. She has all these signs and, now she's got pictures right in her face and she still believes that he's not dealing drugs. Okay, Miss Lucille. Next, a super anal man comes into the station and he gives a very detailed description about a man he saw forcing someone into a car. So this someone is J-Mo, all right? So Detective Lopez shows a few pictures to the witness and Meech is in one of the pictures. But the witness tells Detective Lopez that he doesn't see the man from that night in that lineup, okay? Anyway, when the witness leaves, he gave Detective Bryant a very unsettling look, like he saw him before. Next, Lamar tells Mo that Meech took Zoe, so of course she goes off on him. He tells her to please calm down and just tell me where Meech lives. But Mo tells him that she never been to his house because he lives with his parents. He lives somewhere in Southwest, right? So then PM comes through and tells Lamar that 12th Street has been searching all over and they can't find Meech or Terry and nobody knows where they live either. So this info right here, guys, lets us know that Lamar definitely didn't shoot T, okay? Because he doesn't even know where to find them, all right? I made the same point in my theory video about B. Mickey possibly shooting T, right? I said that Lamar doesn't know anything about Meech and Terry, because he's much older than them. So it's looking like a random incident or someone who knew T that did the shooting, all right? But Lamar is officially off the board. Next, Lopez tells Detective Bryant that J-Mo had two pierced ears, but they only recovered a single diamond stud. And later on, we see Detective Bryant looking for the stud in the back of his car, which he finds, all right? And of course, while he's searching the back of his car, who happens to show up? Detective Lopez. And I don't know why this makes Detective Lopez so suspicious of Detective Bryant, but it does. Whatever. Next, Lamar gets to Kato's house and he wants to know if Zoe is there. But of course, Kato tells him that she doesn't have Zoe, even though she did at one point, right? But Meech somehow came to scoop Zoe back up just before Lamar got there. And Kato was very lucky, okay, because her cover, it could have been blown if Meech saw Lamar come into her house. Next, T and the 50 boys roll up on PM and some other 12th Street boys, and they force them in the trunk. So now T and B Mick got PM tied up in a chair, and they trying to get him to tell them where the stash is, but it's not working. PM is not one to talk, okay? So after he keeps hurling disrespectful insults, Meech comes in and he's like, what the heck is going on here? Do I have to do everything? So he has them untie PM, gives him a drink, then walks him over to a window where he could see Zoe sitting in the car. And she's just listening to music. And this whole time, poor Zoe, little sweet girl, she's so oblivious to what's going on. She doesn't know that she's been kidnapped. And Meech did a good job at keeping that under wraps and everything. But anyway, Meech tells PM that if he doesn't tell him where the stash is, he's gonna cut Zoe's head off and mail it back to Lamar with a note saying PM had an opportunity to save her. So PM knows that he could be screwed either way, but he takes a chance on saving Zoe. And I'm glad he did, of course. I just hope that Lamar doesn't kill him for giving up the stash, because when he brought Zoe back, Lamar wasn't even trying to hear what PM had to say, even when he told Lamar that he got the address on the Flannerys. Next, when Lamar drops Zoe off to Mo, she tells Lamar to stay the heck away from her house and slams the door in his face. So now the chances with him getting back with her are totally screwed up now, okay? Next, my favorite scene of the episode, guys, is when Pat and Detective Bryant have a little meeting because Pat wants Bryant to come work for him, right, instead of Meech. Anyway, I loved how they were going back and forth with each other, with the slick talk and everything. And I just loved it most of all because these guys are brothers, in real life. And I was just hoping that they would get a scene together because I don't remember ever seeing these brothers work together before. So it was everything for me. But the meeting didn't go the way Pat wanted, and Bryant told Pat that he's a dinosaur and he's the Negro that's going to make him extinct. And even though that was said, I'm willing to bet that Bryant is going to need Pat to do some dirty work for him later on down the line, okay? We'll just have to wait and see. Next, Tiny meets up with Meech to cop some product and even tells him that he might know some cats outside the hood who might want to holler. So, of course, Meech is down for that, but he wants to know why Tiny is doing this because he's E-course all day, right? And Tiny tells him that it's all business, get money. But I can't help but to think that if Lamar didn't choke him out with that belt earlier, he wouldn't be there copping from Meech. Anyway, next, T finally tells Meech that Big L only wants to work with him because Meech is too flashy. And Meech just couldn't believe it, okay? Big chains on, big Meech ring on his finger and everything. Could not believe that somebody had the nerve to call him flashy, all right? Next, the witness who saw somebody put J-Mo in a car tells Detective Lopez that he remembered something else, right? Like, I think he called him. So when him and Detective Bryant show up to his house, they find out that he'd unpacked his stuff up and left town, okay? Next, Detective Bryant meets up with Meech to make sure he handled the witness situation because he hasn't been answering the phone. So Meech tells him that the dude should be halfway to Cali by now, like, stop stressing. All right, and then that's when Detective Bryant gives Meech an envelope of money and tells him that their business arrangement is over with. Like, he is just totally done with it all now, especially because that new commander chick is in town now and established that whole Drano situation. And so it's just too hot for him to be a crooked cop right now, okay? And unfortunately, thirsty Detective Lopez sees this interaction take place from his car because he was obviously following Bryant because, like I said, he's suspicious of him. All right, now, because of this, I definitely see Lopez getting himself killed, and I don't mind. Anyway, next, Meech comes to the house to make sure everything went well with Big L. So while Meech is happy about it, T was like, "Don't you get tired of all this?" And T wasn't referring to getting tired of making money. He was talking about the drama and the beef that comes along with it. People dying, him getting shot. He even mentions the fact that they are out here kidnapping little girls now. So while T is saying all these things, Lucille comes in right on time to finally hear the truth, okay? And I was like, about time. So the episode ended with Lucille dropping a glass of water on the floor and her heart breaking at the same time, guys. And she left Meech and T standing there with their mouths open. And that was it, guys. And that's the episode. I thought this was a very good episode, and I can't wait to see what happens next week. You know that they're going to try to get the family out of town. When I say they, I'm talking about Meech and T. They got to get their family to safety because the address is out there now, okay? So let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload more videos like this one. Until next time, you guys take care and be blessed. Bye-bye.